Hi everyone, this is Apocalypse Doc, your doctor in the apocalypse, and welcome to another quick Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. Today we are going to learn how to implement an interaction system. Interaction systems can be very useful because there's a lot of things you want to interact with in games. Light switches, doors, NPCs, and objects that you want to pick up in the world. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to create an input key so that we can call the interaction function on our player character. So how do we do that? Go to project settings, okay? And remember this is 5.0. There's another way to do this in 5.1. And then we're going to go down to inputs on the left. And right here, we're going to do an action input mapping, okay? So hit the plus icon. And we're going to name this interact, of course. You can call it whatever you want. I like using F, so I'm going to use F. There we go. And that's all you need to do here. So you can go ahead and close this window. And now we are going to create another folder, and it's going to be called Interaction System. Okay. Open that folder. And now we are going to create what's called a blueprint interface. Blueprint interfaces are really awesome. It's a way to share a series of common functions among a whole bunch of classes. All the class needs to do is implement the interface. So first we go to blueprints, okay? Go to the right here and you see blueprint interface, just click that. And then you're going to want to name it BPI_interact. Now, if you're going to be using other assets from the Unreal Engine Marketplace, they may have this interface, so you don't want yours to be named the same thing. So frequently what I do is, like, for example, this project is called YouTube Tutorials. I'll do YTT_interact. See that? So that if I'm using other assets that have a similarly named function, things don't get all cattywampus. So go ahead and open that. And we're going to create a new function, and it's going to be called BPI_interact. And alternatively, you can also add in a few characters that identify your project if you're using functions from another asset pack. So for example here, BPI YouTube tutorial interact. Compile and save. And we're going to add one input in this, and it's going to be interactor. So basically we're going to want to feed through the actor that's interacting with whatever item, just in case we want to call anything on that class. For example, add something to that player's inventory. So go ahead and type actor right here, and we're going to want the object reference right here, interactor, actor, and then compile and save. And that's all you need to do. You can close that. Now, we need to make an item that we're going to interact with. So let's right click, find a blueprint class. It's going to be an actor. And I'm just going to call this master item. Okay. We're going to open this up, and we're going to add a static mesh. Okay, and I'm just going to use a cube from the engine meshes. All right, perfect. And now, how do we interact with this object? Well, the first thing we need to do is go to class settings, go to the implemented interfaces, hit add, find our little interact interface, and there it is. Hit compile and save. And you notice on the left here, you can see BPI interact appears. So we can implement that function. So if we double click that, it pops up on the event graph. So whenever you call this function, whatever you input right here is going to happen. So let's just do a print string for debug functionality. And I always like to append my strings so I know what actor I'm interacting with. So I'll get the display name. There we go. And then interacted with. All right. Not a proper sentence, but who cares? So basically, whenever we call the interact, this event right here, it's gonna print out this actor's name and say that we interacted with it. So go ahead and compile and save, and that's all you need to do right now. So now we need to find a way to call this function on the player character. So first let's place the item in the world. Holy crap, that's huge. Okay. Might make it a little small, who cares? We'll leave it that size. Actually, that's annoying me, so. There we go. Okay. And I'm actually gonna change the color. I prefer to use this basic shape material. There it is. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's find our first person character. What the hell? There we go. So first person blueprints, and then we're right here. First person character. And so now let's put our interact input that we created earlier. Remember, it's the F key. So I'm going to type input action, scroll up, and there's the interact that we created. Okay. So remember, this is on the E key. We can comment this by highlighting and pushing C. Interact. Oh, the F key. Sorry. There we go. All right. So when we interact, we want to call the interact event inside the actor we're interacting with. That sounds really convoluted, but it's really simple. So when we press F, we're going to call the item that we're hitting and interact with it. And we're going to do that with a line trace. Okay. So right click and type line trace by channel. Oops. Line trace by channel. All right. And we're going to start the trace at the first person player's camera. So drag that in. Get world location. If I can spell. All right. We're going to start there, and we're going to end a little bit in front of the player character. Okay. So we're going to get the forward vector from the camera, because we're going to go forward from the camera. All right. And we're going to add the world location to the forward vector plus a little. All right. So right click, you're going to change this pen into a float, and we're going to let it shoot, let's say 500 out in front of the camera. All right. And that's where we're going to end. It's going to start at the camera, go straight about 500, and then end. Okay. And we're going to trace on the visibility channel. And let's draw a debug for the duration so we can see it working. Okay. But we don't want to hit every actor, right? We only want to hit the actors that implement this interface. So let's break this hit, break hit result, open that up, see the hit actor. We're going to drag this out. Does implement interface. And let's find our interact. There we go. So we want to make sure we hit something, and we want to make sure that the actor we hit implements this interface. Bam. Okay. And plug that into this conditional branch. The shortcut for this is you just hold B and left click. See, it's really easy. All right, and if that happens, we want to call this interact function on the actor, right? So let's do that. Let's grab this actor and type interact. And we're going to click this message. There we go. And the interactor is this actor, the first person character. So get a reference to self. So basically, what did we do here? We're pushing F. We're shooting out a line trace from the first person camera. right from here. It's going to go out 500. Okay. It's going to hit something. If it successfully hits an item, and that item is an actor that implements this interface, it's going to call the interact function of this actor. All right. Let's compile and save. All right. That should be all we need. And let's just remind ourselves that when that happens, it's going to print a string, and it's going to call this actor's name and say interacted with, okay? So let's see if that works for us. Oh, we need to make sure that this actor is blocking the visibility channel. So let's double check. Block all dynamic, so that works. Visibility is blocked, okay? Because remember, we're tracing on the visibility channel. So anything that blocks the visibility channel will successfully be hit. All right, so let's see if this works. Let's push play. All right, and I'm walking around. Where's that thing? There it is. All right, so let's push F and see what happens. It works, see? That's our line trace coming from the camera. And then if you look in the top left, it says master item interacted with. It works. So this can be a very powerful tool. You can have it trigger a door opening, a light switch, talking to an NPC, open a window, open a chest, pick up some loot. You can do whatever you want. I can just briefly show you. For example, let's say we have a function right here that's, pick up the actor. Add the actor to the player's inventory. Let's say that was right here, and then we'd want to destroy the actor if it was successful. So for whatever your add item function is, definitely have an output for success. And if it successfully picks it up and adds it to the player's inventory, you'll destroy the actor. So let's see how that looks. Go around here. It should destroy the actor, but it should also print that string in the top left. Bam, and it worked, see? The actor's gone. Awesome. Well, I hope that was very helpful. I hope you enjoyed that. That's just a simple way to create an interaction system in Unreal Engine 5.0. Thanks for joining me.